to this special short video edition of Meet, Act, and Part. Today, I thought I'd show you Darren and I's home lodge, Homer Lodge number 199. It has this magnificent lodge room that we have kept restored over the years. It's a really showpiece for the downtown Homer, which is a small town in east central Illinois. It's about population 1,100 today. The lodge itself was founded in 1856, and this particular building was put up in 1892. It's been a mainstay here on Main Street, and yet most people in town have never been up here, and I think most of them don't even know it exists. Below us, we've got a couple businesses, a post office, and an insurance agency, so lots of traffic downstairs, but I'm not sure they ever look up. The centerpiece, of course, of this room is these magnificent stained glass windows. Originally, there was a Royal Arch chapter here, Homer chapter number 94, which closed up a few years ago, but a number of us reinstated a Royal Arch chapter down here by creating and chartering Admiration chapter number 282. So I always like to think that these windows are back up to full strength. You see there's three of them, the Royal Arch with the keystone on the left. On the right is the Blue Lodge, and of course the square and compass. And in the middle is that all-seeing eye. And it keeps a constant watch over the master's chair and downtown, whether people know it or not. As you, of course, look around the lodge room, much of it's the original furniture, though we did acquire some new chairs a number of years ago to replace some that, well, quite frankly, most of us didn't fit in. There's this wonderful altar, and it's one of the largest I've seen. You see a kneeling pad that goes all the way around it, the three lesser lights, and of course the three great lights on the altar itself. It's tiger oak, which it's just some great craftsmanship. Of course, again, the master's chair itself is also a showpiece. It's a piece of furniture that has three seats in it. Of course, the master in the middle and two others to the side. There originally was an Eastern Star chapter here as well, so they would have sat in the east and used this room also. This is the senior warden, and you see the two pillars there, Jacob and Boaz. And we've got a mini library here. We had some books that are donated, so they come and go, and members are free to, of course, take these and read them, and, you know, maybe throw some others back as they find stuff that they may want to share. In the south is the junior warden's chair, along with the two stewards. Again, another fine piece of furniture. Over here, we have not the set of pillars, but they have the Royal Arch and the keystone on them, so they're dedicated. So we actually have two sets of pillars in this room. Coming on out through the entry here, you see the where we sign in for our meetings. Of course, the Tyler, he would be outside this door. Some past masters that were way behind on getting their pictures updated. That seems to be the trend in almost every lodge. Just a few historic photos from the past of men that came before us. The preparation room. And these were some banners left over from that Royal Arch chapter that we still use today. So pretty neat. Just the entrance to the hallway. It's a beautiful upstairs here. It's lots of room. One of the things we're especially proud of here in Homer is our museum room. And the museum room was created a number of years ago with some artifacts that we found here in the building, and then we've had other donations as well. And so Todd Creason and others were critical in putting this together. I mentioned the Eastern Star room, or Eastern Star chapter. So these were some of the past matrons and patrons of Homer or the Eastern Star number 930. We still have their charter and a charter of a neighboring town that merged in here, Sydney. And so there's been lots of mergers in the Eastern Star as its numbers have dwindled like most Masonic organizations. So there's some nice history here, some jewels, from Eastern Star, some other things, White Shrine of Jerusalem, some cups, and some pictures we need to get hung up. This was a clash from the Valley of Danville. One of the things we found was the original blueprint. So this is a copy of a side view. So I refer to the lower building on the left is where the post office would be. And of course, we're upstairs, and our entrance is still right there. The Gale Grotto Dome Head, that's based in Danville. The drum line's long gone, but Todd Creason found those and donated it. So that's our little memento to the grotto. Of course, some of the lecture slides and pictures. This was actually a Royal Arch altar that we found here in the room. These were some very old master's hat and jewels. And I don't know if they're original to the lodge, but they're sure in the early time of this lodge, there's no doubt about it. Just some other memorabilia, some hats from the shrine, the grotto, some Royal Arch costumes that we found. There, of course, is the Royal Arch apron and a 14th degree ring, and just some other great things you'll find here. Knight Templar hats, and the cards. So why are the cards there? They're not Masonic. Well, the men used to come up here and play cards all the time. And so this was a euchre deck. If you don't know what euchre is, look it up. It's a great game. And so they play up here all the time as I think really just a way of camaraderie and sharing friendship with one another. So, but lots of great things up here. That chair was original here as well. Then we have another three-sided altar there. Coming out. Of course, what do all Masons do? Well, they have dinners. And so this was the kitchen, is the kitchen. It's very functional. We still use it. And matter of fact, as I record this, we're getting ready for a second degree tonight. And one thing you'll see is lots of china. We don't use that so much anymore. They had a lot more dinners in those days than we do today. So we're, of course, basically using the paper goods. As you come in our dining room, which arguably is the second most important room in the building, doing some work on this side of it, getting it back into shape. But it was large, would hold many, many people. And so this is where we have the dinners, lots of great conversations before and after the meeting, and it's just a lot of fun. Now, those aren't very exciting, but they are if you're up here. We put in a brand new HVAC system last year, and it really helped us. And so it heats and cools this entire building. It's or the upstairs of it. It's very quiet, very efficient, and it's really made our meetings a lot more pleasant to work in. This last room I'll show you, it's kind of a storage room, but like everything, everybody's got their place they need to store the Masonic goods, and so that's some things for the Royal Arch chapter. One thing we kind of do keep prominent from our past is this honor roll. And this are men that served in World War II. And you'll notice that two of them have a star by their name. The second name on the list there is Wesley Tibbetts. He was an Army officer who was killed in Germany. And Glenn Benson was also in the Army, was killed in Europe as well. And so we keep this up there for their memory, and all that have served. All those men have passed on now, but just some from the greatest generation that were members of Homer Lodge. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tour of Homer. And if you're ever in the area, we hope you stop by and see us. So until next time, have a great day from Meet, Act, and Part.